Hey guys, Blue Kool-Aid here. My last video I made, sorry about the audio on that. I didn't realize I was having issues. Thanks for making me aware of that. I went back and listened to it again, and yeah, the audio was pretty bad. It was coming in and out. I don't know what was going on, but I think I've got it fixed. So thank you for pointing that out, and I'm sorry you guys had to suffer through that audio. It wasn't, it was annoying me. I can imagine trying to watch it and turn the volume up and down, and you know, we've all watched videos like that, and it's very, very annoying. So I do apologize. And again, if I'm still having issues, I'll go back and listen to this one, just at least for the first couple minutes, and see if it's like that or not. But I hope it's not. But if you guys have issues with that, please leave me another comment down there so I can address it and get that fixed. Anyway, I got you guys over here at a site that I frequent quite a bit. I'm not sure if very many people are aware of this site. I don't see a whole lot of people using this one for some reason. I don't know why, because I think that this is actually a very useful tool. It's at spaceweather.gmu.edu. I'll leave a link for it, guys, and I keep it on my shortcuts on my desktop, so I look at this thing daily. And the reason I like it is because it's got captures from LASCO C2, which is what you see here in a 14-day. It keeps 2 weeks right here in front of us. But if you scroll down, it's also got Core 2 from Sechi, okay? Last 2 weeks of that. So you get both of those on this one particular site here. I'll leave a link. But anyway, what this site also does is it detects CMEs. And when it detects something, you will see this down here. Okay, this is from the Stereo Core 2. This section of it is. Okay, and if you wanted to look at it here, I believe the color difference here, I think that the red one, they mean it's more intense, I believe. The orange ones, it's got dates. You can see the dates here on the left. But you can go down and up and look and see. And what I want you guys to take note of right now is normally, at least the past few months or even so much the past year, you don't see this many on this page in one shot here. So basically what I'm saying is we've had a lot of activity, and it's picking it up here. And I'll show you what I mean here in a second. But this right here would show you the Stereo Core 2. So when it detects either a solar flare or like a CME or whatever, it tries to outline it and show you where it's at. But what it does is it actually will catalog a certain amount of images. And you can see that right here. See, it says event movie right there. Now, then all you got to do, you don't want to, if you click on the date, like right here, you'll get this data. Okay, if you want the hardcore data, there it is. All right. Now, if you wanted the actual visual representation of that, you click on where it says event movies, but you click on the number, like right here, and it'll give you a short little time lapse of what it's trying to tell you where it picked it up. Okay, so that's what this tool does. Now you see on the right and the left, so that's the same camera. It's just different, different views, different filters, what have you. Anyway, I wanted to show you guys that real quick. But what I'm getting ready to show you here, I think is probably one of the most compelling things that I've actually captured myself. I didn't capture this, obviously. I see it here on the satellite, but it is something that I've picked up that I haven't heard anybody else report on yet. And maybe it's just because they haven't had time to pour over the information. But like I said, I look at this daily. This is one of those tools I go to every day and look at. Now, what I seen, it was on the 29th. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take you to, well, yeah, we'll just go ahead and we'll do the 29th here real quick. Okay, what it's going to do is it'll load. It loads its time lapse. Okay, And this is very similar to Secchi. If you look at the controls here on the bottom, you got start, pause, faster, slower. You know, we've seen that. I've talked about those on the Secchi side a lot. It's pretty standard type of control down here on the bottom. It is a little slightly different, but it's not something that you guys couldn't get figured out if you wanted to look at it. Now, there's going to be a couple things I'm going to show you here. I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. This is at the 1300 hour on the 29th, okay, right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just do this real quick and pause it again. Okay, it's at the 16 there. I'm going to start toggling through. What I want you guys to look at is over here. You can actually start seeing it already right in there. You're going to see an orb, okay, or a sphere, whatever you want to call it. And I'll show you some filtered pictures where I've kind of brought it out a little bit more. So we'll go next. You can see this thing if you just look over there, right in here in this area. Okay. Now this right here is where I started taking note of this. Okay, because this was just kind of odd to me. I don't know why my eye catches stuff like this, but it does. Actually, when I was watching it full speed, something just didn't look right in that area, so I slowed it down, and that's how I catch this stuff to begin with. But it's right in here. If you look at that, you can, I'm kind of circling it for you already. But what I'm going to do is, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and toggle through here to where I want you guys to really start taking heed here, because I mean, you see it. It's starting to show itself, and there you go. Okay, now something I will show you here in just a second. Right there, there's the one that really caught my eye. Okay, I'll just zoom in here. Okay, obviously we're looking right there, and if you look at it, this is kind of the outline of it right here. Okay, just to draw your guys' eye to it. Now, what is that, right? Well, I mean, stellar core. I'm not sure if stellar cores are really that big, because if you take this and you kind of compare it into size, if this thing is actually next to the sun, you see this white circle right here? That's the sun. Okay, that's the size of the sun, surface area. What this other stuff is an occulter, and it's blocking the corona. So I've explained this before. For those of you that don't know, that blocks the intense light so the camera can even actually see anything. But the inside circle here is the actual size of the sun. So if you compare that circle there to that circle there, it is a bit smaller than the sun, but it's not much. It's a big object, is what I'm trying to say. So, and again, it's there, guys. I mean, that's not something that, nature just doesn't normally make shapes like that. Okay? At least, in like a flare or whatever. Flares don't make that shape, whatever you want to call them. That's a sphere, and it's there. It's an object. I don't know what else to call that, but and there you go. Okay, and that's 8. Now I want you guys to keep down here. Look at the timestamp. It says 1848. This is something else that's made me like, hey, maybe this really is something. Okay, 1848. Next capture, 1900. Look what it does. Okay. This camera over here on the left, this filter here, whenever it sees bright light, it blocks it out. It tries to, it seems like the camera glitches a little bit. And that's this gray area you're seeing here. Okay, and you see a little bit of white right there. But I would guess that underneath this gray area, there's something really, really bright. Okay? But that's at the 1900 hour. Watch the next frame. It goes to 0:24. In other words, the camera quit collecting data for 5 hours. Okay? At that exact moment that we started seeing those kind of weird things. Now, You know, that's very suspect to me. Okay, I don't think that that's an accident. Okay, I think they did that on purpose, some sort of way. But even if you look here, you can still see the orb here. Okay, it's there. Now, what I'm going to do is I've put some filters on it. Well, I'll show you some still shots here in a minute. But we're seeing this quite often lately. Scott caught one over at Planet X News on the day before Christmas, on Christmas Eve. And what we're going to do is we're going to go look at that day. Okay. Let's get that here. Okay. Now, again, you know, it's there, guys. I mean, you see that CME blow off, and then look. Okay. And then I will take you to the still shots and show you. That was on the 24th. The one I just showed you was on the 29th. And check this out. Okay. 28th. Alright, we're going to see it again. I mean, you can already kind of see it already. Alright, look to the left of the sun. It'll be in this area again. Okay. And I'll slow it down and show it to you once the stupid thing loads. But, yeah, there it went. So, anyway, it happened on multiple days. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take you over to my gallery and show you. But I just wanted to show you this site and show you guys how to navigate that. So, I'm going to take you over to my gallery here and show you what I've done to pull these captures out. Now, let's see here. There we go. Let's do that. Now, I went over to where Scott had made his video and pulled that off. That's the one on the 24th. Okay, Scott reported on that. Actually, Mr. MBB3 did a video on this just a few hours ago. But Scott was the one that seen this, you know, brought it to everybody's attention the first time, and it's a great capture. I mean, it really is. There's really not a whole lot else to say. That's just, you know, that's an orb. That's an object of some sort. And it just looks, it's not, you know, it's not supposed to be there, guys. Is it stellar core? Is it some sort of planetary body? You know, we can all sit here and argue that till we're blue in the face. Only thing I can tell you is that, you know, something's there. And it's that shape. So, anyway, that picture there, I went ahead and just took a screenshot of that just so I could show you guys. Okay, and then this right here, I was just going through stuff for today, and I get this little funky mishap on this camera. So, I don't know what that, I've actually never seen it black out like that on this particular site, but it's not to say it hasn't happened before. Now, I'm not seeing anything strange there. It just looks like a camera malfunction. So, but anyway, here's those other ones that I ran filters through. Okay, you can see that. All right. Go ahead and look at that one. You can see that one. Okay. Now, this happened on the same day, about 3 hours earlier. This is on the LASCO. I think it was a C3, I believe. I should have had that in the picture. But what I'm showing you here is this. I don't know. I've never seen that either. Okay, it looks like a boomerang of some sort. It's probably just a camera thing. I mean, obviously, I don't think that an object is going to, you know, do that kind of a thing. But I just want to show it to you. I thought that was kind of interesting. Then I had this, too. This kind of did spark my eye a little bit. You know, this is the Core 2, the same day that the LASCO was showing that orb I just showed you. Yeah. What I'm looking at here is this shadow, okay? You know, we see those every once in a while. What's causing that? You know, like I said, we can all sit here and try to figure that out, but can we? I don't know. But here's another one of those, the same one I just showed you there. I hope you guys can see that pretty well. I tried to pull it out best I could, but it's there, okay? This is right next to the sun, you know, and why I showed you all that CME activity is because it's all blowing off that same side of the sun, Okay, if you go back and you look at the dates and you watch the flares coming off of the sun, it's coming off. There was a couple that came off on the other side, but most of them were coming off in this direction. Okay, you can kind of see it there a little bit. Excuse me. There's one without a... I don't know why I didn't take a full shot of that. I think I did somewhere along the line here. This was on the 28th. I'm not sure if you guys can... That's not a very good pic. Sorry. Here's the one I wanted you to see. See that? Okay, that was on the 28th. Now, like I said, we're seeing orbs over there on that side of the sun. And it's really puzzling to me because, that's something there. That's not something that is just... And it seems as though these things are moving pretty fast. So whatever it is, I think most of us have come to the conclusion that there's a lot of stuff here in our solar system that's, number one, there's a massive amount of things we don't know that's out there. Number two, these things are moving fast. I mean, this isn't something that's just, it's not taking 365 days to go around the sun. This thing is whipping around. Whatever these objects are, these things are moving and moving good. So, anyway, I wanted to bring that to your guys' attention. I found this interesting. Anybody that is in any kind of truth or stuff, look at this. It's a Freemason license plate. There you go. All CE9, all that crap, we're talking about there, right? We could sit there and talk about that until we're blue in the face, too. This right here is kind of interesting to me. This is that CME tracker. You can access that. Actually, Scott has a link to it over on his web page. So if you hit play, we'll hit play here. Just let it play. Okay, the Earth is this little yellow dot here. That's the Earth. Okay, what this does is it's showing solar winds and CMEs and things that blow off. Something to take note of. You can see a CME blow off over here, right there. See it? Boom. Okay. And then you can even see it if you look over here. You'll see it pass by right about now. See it? Boom. Okay. Now, but it did not hit the Earth. It doesn't mean that it can't. Shoot. Cancel. Sorry about that. Anyway, it doesn't mean that it can't have an effect on our magnetics just because it ain't hitting us directly. But, that is what it is. But anyway, guys, I'm going to keep this one kind of short tonight, guys. Hope you guys can kind of appreciate that. That was on the 28th, I believe. And then this is the one, like I said, this is pretty compelling. I mean, that's in your face kind of stuff right there. And again, most people that don't research this, like, I've been looking at these things intensely for at least 6 months to a year. That doesn't seem like a whole lot of time for some people. But when you look at these things every day for hours at a time, you start seeing stuff that you normally wouldn't. So, because I've been asked, how do you see this stuff? Everything looks like it's moving way too fast, or even when it's slowed down, we don't see it. Well, I mean, don't feel discouraged about that, guys. It'll come. It really will. I want you guys to look at this stuff as much as you can. Don't get discouraged. Just keep looking, and you'll see it too. And again, it ain't my goal to be the first one to show anything to anybody. Okay? That is not my goal. That's why I have no problem with people using my videos, with using my content, whatever they want to do. I want that to happen. I want that stuff to get shared. Even with the stuff that I show that ends up being incorrect or what have you, at least it's starting a conversation and we can get to the truth that way. So, anybody who wants to use my content, as long as you don't misrepresent or use it to bash other creators or other researchers, or use it in a negative fashion like that, I have no issue with it. You know, use it. Let's find the truth. You know, let's figure it all out. And again, guys, like I said, that's a pretty intense photograph, if you ask me. I'll call it a photograph. I'll call it a capture because it's from the satellite. But yeah. So I mean, take it for what it's worth, guys. I hope you guys do a little bit more research on that. I thought about going live with that, but you know, I want to make sure I get this information out right. You know, I wanted to research a little bit more because obviously this happened on the 29th, so I've been kind of sitting on this for over a day. And again, guys, this website over here, that website I just took you to, Space Weather. I like this site for, it's just real easy to go to, and it gives you the LASCO C2 and the SETI, plus it kind of gives you, you know, the CME trackers. And again, I've showed this site before, but we normally don't see that big long list. Now, I would venture to say 2 years ago, you would see a list like that. But as the activity on the sun slowed down, you know, the CMEs don't become further and further spread apart. And, you know, we're seeing activity a lot. And, you know, we're seeing it's a bunch, guys. You know, and thankful that it hasn't really been like extremely earth-facing with some sort of big, huge CME event, which is, you know, the worry or the concern when we start talking about stuff like this. You know, we don't want it to be earth-facing, but we also have to keep in mind, and I will show you guys this real quick, because I think that it needs to be looked at. Okay, look at that. Okay, this is the SWMF model. Like I said, there's another magnetosphere model now. It's a newer one. I forget what the name of the site is, but you can get it through the links from over at planetxnews.org website on those links. But if you see this, look at this, guys. Okay, you look at that, and that looks like a really weak magnetic signature. Okay, we're not seeing the reds that we usually see. We're not seeing, you know, out here in the front, out here is usually like a yellowish color. Okay, instead of green. This right in here, our shield itself is normally bright red. Okay, now we talk about CME, solar flares, solar winds hitting the earth and all that, ions, proton, all that kind of stuff, right? Well, we have to have some sort of energy to keep our magnetic field strong. So it has to be hitting us sometimes to keep us strong. It's how you know, that's how it gets powered. Okay? So, you know, when our sun's going dead or going dark, it's going to weaken us too, as far as magnetically. Not just, you know, other ways, but, you know, what that does is it makes us more vulnerable to CMEs or any kind of magnetic, excuse me, magnetic disturbances, any kind of solar energy or, you know, celestial energy. We'll just call it that. Because solar energy, if you want to get down to technicalities, solar means sun, our sun. So if we're getting stuff from other things, we got to call that, you know, I guess, celestial, I guess is what you would call it. I'm not sure what the vocabulary word would be for it, but that needs to be understood, because some of the stuff we get from the sun we need to keep our magnetic shield strong. So when that starts slowing down really, really far like that, I mean, and then something else I'll show you real quick. You know, we like I said, we've been seeing a lot of magnetic disturbances. Look at that. Okay? I mean, I've seen stuff like this before, so don't think that this is like, oh my gosh, oh no, run for the hills. Okay? I'm not trying to do any of that. It's just, this is not something that is like an everyday occurrence. So, you know, what happened here is, I believe, is we were getting some high solar winds, and it affected our shields. it makes them bounce and wave. You know, if you guys go look at the time lapses on these things, that's what you would see. So, and here's that other tool that I was showing you. Let's just show that one. See, that's the other tool we can go look at, and that's pretty intense there too. So, you know, you guys will probably kind of recognize that one. I talked about this before already in past videos. So, but anyway, you know, like I said, guys, you look at these right here. I mean, those are pretty compelling stuff, and it's out there right next to our sun. So, you know, it is what it is. So, God bless. Yeshua saves, and you can drink this Kool-Aid.